Good evening, kids. It's great to be together with you tonight. Wow, do I miss being with you face to face over in our missions room where we all gather together each year for VBS and spend time together studying missions and God's call to us to go to every person on the earth and take the good news of the gospel. As we begin today, I'm Pastor Bart from Kingsville Baptist Church. Maybe you're visiting with us online today. We really welcome you, and this is our Vacation Bible School, VBS Mission Center. We'll start off by telling you that if you are at your home today and you don't have a Bible and you'd love to have a Bible, here's what we'll do for you. We can take and set a Bible in our lobby of our offices with your name on it so that you can come by and pick it up and have your own Bible. So if you're one of our great kids watching today and you're not able to have a Bible and follow along with us, you can come by the church and pick one up. Here's what I need you to do. Drop us an email at info@kingsvillebaptist.org. And when you do that, we'll set one aside with your name on it. I'll send you an email back that it's ready and you can come by and pick it up in the lobby of our offices. I'm really glad to be with you. This is our time together to study missions and the great calling that God has given us to take His good news to everyone. You'll be following along in a PowerPoint with us today. If you happen to want that PowerPoint, same thing, send us an email and we'll send it to you. Moms and dads, if you want to walk back through it with the kids later and spend some more time in detail on the study, we're happy for you to request it and we'll send it out to you. As we begin today, we're studying day one in our VBS Mission Center, the missionary's attitude, the disposition of the heart that a missionary should have as they prepare to serve the Lord by bringing the good news of Jesus to all the people of the world. And so we're going to ask you a question today. Here's the question: how do you feel when you see a crowd of people? Maybe you see that crowd from a distance, or you see that crowd on TV, you see that crowd in the news or on the internet, or you walk by that crowd, or you're a part of that crowd. How do you feel when you see a crowd of people? Maybe you get anxious, and maybe you feel intimidated, or perhaps you're worried about them, or you're concerned for them. There are all kinds of feelings that we can have when we see a crowd of people. Here's another picture of a crowd of people in a big, very busy, very populated inner city. How would you feel standing in the middle of this crowd? Would there be some sense of trepidation, fear, some kind of way that you feel about them? Well, the Bible teaches us that Jesus spent time in crowds. And as He spent time in crowds, He had a very unique, specific attitude about those crowds. That's revealed to us in the book of Matthew, chapter 9. So if you have a Bible and you're able, flip that Bible open with me right now to Matthew chapter 9, and we're going to look together in Matthew 9 at an interaction that Jesus had with the crowds. Matthew chapter 9. And we'll read together. If you follow down into Matthew 9 to verse 33. So I'm going to pop it up on screen for us. Jesus was there in the middle of the crowd, and it says Jesus was going through all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom. That's the good news. And healing every kind of disease and every kind of sickness. So we hear Jesus is right in the middle of the crowd. He's right in the middle of the multitude. And it says next, seeing the people, He felt compassion for them because they were distressed and dispirited like sheep without a shepherd. If you've been with me in VBS Mission Center before, you know we've talked about this verse. It's a key verse for our attitude about missions. To be a missionary, to go out and share the good news of Jesus globally, and to do so as a believer locally with your family and your friends, there's a certain attitude that we should have about others, particularly groups of others. And so here's what we see in Jesus' ministry. First, Jesus saw sorrow in the crowds. These folks were distressed. There was sorrow in their midst, like this group of people gathered for a time of mourning for someone who has died. There was sorrow in the crowd. Jesus also saw in the crowd suffering. The word that is used there is the distressed, which means harassed. It also means cast aside or left out or not wanted, rejected. And so Jesus saw the suffering in the crowds. This is a picture from a time during one of the crises in the Middle East of crowds of people gathering for food and water and talking about shelter. So Jesus saw the crowds. He saw their suffering, he saw their sorrow, and he saw the crowds as sheep. It says that he looked out and he said they were like sheep. You know, sheep, like this, sheep. Those little animals that seem so cute, but when Jesus referred to them as sheep, he was referring to something that we don't often consider when he says, you see, sheep are not the brightest animals in the world. They're very, very curious and prone to wander, and they're also pretty much defenseless. So as not being very bright and also being very curious and not being defenseless, they live lives where they're always in danger of predators, wolves and other animals that might come in and be predators to them. And so Jesus looked at these crowds and he saw their sorrow and he saw their suffering and he looked at them as sheep, and then he saw that they were without a shepherd. And he worried about that because children, you can say, if you've been in our VBS Mission Center before, what happens to sheep without a shepherd? We always say together, well, they're prey. They could be eaten by some predator or stolen by some thief. And so he saw the crowds as sheep without a shepherd. And therefore they were not under protection. They were in danger. They were defenseless. They were not very bright in the decisions that they were making. And he saw humanity like this. And the Bible says that he had, as a result, compassion. This is so important. So when we think about how do we feel when we see a crowd of people, the missionary heart is to see a crowd of people and to feel compassion for them. I have a gift here. I like to bring my Ecuador missionary bag with me, and today I have something to show all of you. It's a wonderful gift that was given to me when I was in Ecuador many years ago serving. It's a hand-carved Ecuadorian pastor. If you look carefully, this pastor has a sheep on his shoulders and he has a staff in his hand, and he's gone to rescue a sheep and bring him home safely. How did Jesus see the crowds? Well, he saw their sorrow. He saw their suffering. He saw them as sheep, defenseless, not really smart, making bad decisions. Also, he saw them without a shepherd, and he said that he came to be their shepherd. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. So part of the missionary attitude is that we develop the heart of Jesus toward the crowds of people on the earth. I sure do love you all. Children, it's been great to be with you. What a wonderful time together. May the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face to shine upon you and give you his peace through Jesus Christ. Y'all have a great evening. See you tomorrow.